that is the new Vauxhall Mokka GSE, and I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about it. I'm Jordan, and you're watching Auto Express. So this is the first time that we have seen both an electric GSE and a high-performance version of the Mokka, and straight away, it looks pretty aggressive, doesn't it? So the key differences with this GSE compared to a standard Mokka include a few changes here around the front. So we've got some more aggressive sort of elements here on the side, plus a bit of a stickerage, and we've got a slightly wider stance, and of course, these much larger 20-inch wheels. Now they're 2 inches bigger than the wheels that you get on a standard Mokka, and it really makes a huge difference. Moving around to the side, you can also see we've got some more unique GSE badging, and then around the back, we've got more of these differently colored inserts that sort of sit here in the bumper. And while they don't make a huge amount of difference on first application, the whole way the car sits, the fact that it sits sort of lower and wider on those wheels, and the fact that all of the detailing looks a little bit more polished, really makes this thing look far more aggressive, and that's a good thing. However, the thing that we're most excited about with the new GSE Mokka is the powertrain, because there's a lot to go through. Now, if you're a fan of 1990s Japanese sports cars, things like R34 GT-Rs or a Toyota Supra, the power figure of 276 brake horsepower is probably going to ring a bell, because that's the figure that they were producing under their sort of gentleman's agreement. Here we are in 2025, and it appears that a small electric B-segment SUV produces 276 brake horsepower from its single electric motor, and that is pretty wild. Now, along with that goes 345 newton meters of torque, and it'll get from 0 to 60 in just 5.9 seconds, which is pretty impressive. Top speed's 124 miles an hour, which is also a lot more than the standard electric Mokka, and altogether should make this thing quite a bit more rowdy when it comes to putting your foot down. Of course, they haven't stopped there. They've also gone to quite a lot of lengths with the chassis to make sure that all of this is manageable, and that starts right here. So as you can see, the big 20-inch wheels we mentioned before, all very good, but they're wrapped in 20-inch Michelin Pilot Sport EV tires, and that is a very important upgrade. Also, if you look closely, you can see there's some contrasting brake calipers back there. They're a brand new set of 4-piston Alcon brakes that grip 380mm discs on the front, and that should make a huge difference. But the other thing to note about this car is that it actually only weighs about 1,600 kilograms, and that is really impressive considering this is an EV. However, the battery is 54 kilowatt hours, which feels pretty small in this day and age. It does mean that the range is limited to around 209 miles, and that isn't really that much. However, you do get 100 kilowatt DC fast charging, and I think in the greater scheme of things is probably a better fit for this sort of sporty number. Anyway, the changes aren't just on the outside. Let's go have a look within. So to the inside of the Mokka GSE, and you'll notice things haven't really changed. The fundamental dashboard and layout is all pretty much as you see on the standard car, but there are a couple of key differences. The first being a brand new steering wheel, which as you can see has a flat bottom and a flat top. And there's also some nice Alcantara inserts here you can see on the doors, plus a much nicer set of sport seats which have proper bolsters and some nice little flourishes. We've got some lime green stitching, we've got some white stripes down the center in real Alcantara. Now, space-wise, it is not a big car, the Mokka, and as you can kind of see from here in the back, it's a bit cramped. And look, it's inherent with this size of car that you're not going to have a huge amount of space to play with, but you will find that more than 2 people back here for a long period of time will kind of struggle with claustrophobia a little bit, because it is very dark, especially with this black roof lining and these seats that now have these sort of integrated headrests. That driving position is someone slightly taller than me, admittedly. However, there is not a huge amount of legroom. However, you can to a certain extent tuck your feet under the front seats. We do not have a center armrest, which is a bit of a shame, but we do have a couple of USB points back here, but they are USB-A's, which isn't great. However, let's go have a look at the tech up front and see what's changed there. Okay, in the driver's seat, the first thing that you notice is actually the seating position is quite low, and that is a really nice surprise actually. The driving position feels pretty good. Now, this does leave a fairly high dashboard, but that's kind of fine. You kind of expect to have to look over it, and what you're left with is something that actually feels quite a lot sportier than I was expecting, which is a nice surprise. Displays. So we've got 2 10-inch displays. We've got here the driver display directly in front with the unique branding, and then also the center console. In terms of the layout of all of this and bobs, it is just as per standard Vauxhall Mokka, and that's completely fine. It's not the most fancy system in the world, but it does work quite well. However, what is new are the performance options. So as you can see here, we can show the amount of torque that's going to the front wheels. We've got a couple of gauges here that show various bits and bobs like the voltage and the battery temp and the usual racing timers, so things like 0 to 60 or 0 to 100 kilometers an hour. That's pretty cool. And a G-force meter as well. That is all new and does make the inside feel a little bit cooler. Looking around, we've got some decent storage, pretty standard thing. We've got a phone wireless charger, that's quite good there. Another USB-A, that's not great. And then we've got our usual gear selector here and our drive modes as well. Drive modes, pretty cool. We've got our standard sort of setup of normal, eco and sport. The latter is the one that you'll need to access that full 276 brake horsepower. just a really quick reminder that if you're in the market to buy or sell your car, you can actually do so through autoexpress.co.uk. So make sure you click the link in the description below and we'll run you through the process. Of course, being some form of hot hatch SUV breakaway, there is a reasonably good sized boot. As you can see here, we've got a floating floor with some space underneath for some charging cables, and of course those seats do fold flat. It's not the most practical car in the world, but that's kind of fine, you know, this is not really the car for it. This car is all about the drive. Okay, so that was a really quick rundown of the Vauxhall Mokka GSE, but there's one element that I did leave out, and that's slightly on purpose, and that is the fact that Vauxhall have fitted a proper mechanical limited slip differential. Now that actually tells us an awful lot about how seriously Vauxhall is taking this car and how much they really want this GSE brand to live up to the sort of VXR and GSi brands that came in the past. This is all going to be about how this car drives. That's the only thing that really matters, and to be honest with you, I can't wait to have a go.